Hey, hey, Life Sparkers. Welcome to the podcast today. We are with my friend and fellow life coach, Sonya Luckey. We have literally been sitting here in the studio going on and on with one another, thinking we were recording and we weren't. So we are going to just share this organic and amazing conversation with you guys because we are having a blast and we know that you will too. We are spending a lot of time today talking about our core values and how aligned what alignment looks like and what we love about our relationship as collaborators. And, like the minute we met, I knew that you knew what I know. And so many tools that got us to this point. So we're going to go back over a couple of those because I think that they were real good nuggets there. So one of the biggest things that we are in alignment on is the chaos that's happening in the world right now and people's inability to recognize the imminent danger and have a tool or a resource to say that is going to influence me or control me, or I can influence it or control it back. They just have a reaction to it. And it's because it feels like imminent danger. And maybe it is, but maybe it's not. So that's really the conversation that we were having. And that is an important difference. So tell us a little bit about what alignment looks like for you.
Well, first I want to comment on what you just said, because it's really powerful what you just said, that there's a lot going on in the world right now. And and I don't want it to sound like what we're saying is like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, or it's not real danger. It is so powerful, this energy of everything that's going on in the world. And what it's provoking in me is wanting to send out energy that is peaceful and happy and compassionate, because I truly believe that when we dive into that energy, then we're just contributing to the energy of the fear and the chaos. Like I was saying earlier, I have a lot of family members that are like, you don't pay attention to what's going on in the world, and it's important that Mom, or, that kind of stuff. And it's like, I am fully aware of what is going on out there. And when I watch a video or if I hear a story, all that does is make my heart so heavy. And that's not helpful. That's not helping the situation. If that comes into my world, in my doorstep, and then I'm going to have a different response. You bet Mama Bear is going to come out. But that's not what's happening. It's from afar. So from afar, what can I do? So when I have my aha moments, when I have my peaceful moments, when I am laughing and enjoying my family, then that's the frequency I am letting out.
Yes.
Guilt is a very heavy frequency.
So is fear.
If I'm going to feel guilty feeling happy, then I'm not contributing to the higher frequencies of what is happening in this planet.
Absolutely.
So I am all about joy, happiness. And you knock on my door, or I witness in front of me you doing something harmful to a child or separating whatever, I'm going to be right there. Be right there, because I ain't afraid to die. Some things are worth dying for.
Absolutely. Yes.
But I'm not going to pack my bags in that frequency. I'm not going to do it. No. It's not helpful.
No, I totally agree. And that is what we were just talking about too, is like the moment we met, when we were introduced, there was a high vibe between us. It was literally just love. It was like a frequency of love and understanding. But we both knew in just 1 second of being in one another's presence that there was also deep pain, and incredible amounts of work had been done on both of our parts to get to the point of us sitting down over breakfast and just being in full presence with one another and saying, I see you and you see me. And there was so much power in that.
Yes, and feeling safe showing each other. I loved that part. Yes. I really did feel that goodness from you. And yes, we have both had some very deep, raw, broken moments. But we've also healed from that and have a deeper understanding of that. And that's why I love being a life coach.
Yes.
Because I've been there. I know. Yes. And I'm not here to fix it for you. Right. I'm here to be by your side while you fix it for you.
Yes. Yes. And that's, my style is definitely more boot camp than yours. You have definitely a very
True
graceful,
story. True story.
loving, whereas I literally, I was having a conversation with my husband a while ago, and it was like, why do people keep coming to me when they know what I'm going to say, they know I'm going to give them correction, or they know that I'm going to say, you know better, or why did you do that, what was your intention?
Hold them accountable.
And I held them, yes. And so that was his response. He said, Crystal, because everyone that knows you knows how much you care and love, and that you are willing to risk that relationship if it is in their best interest.
Yes. Yep.
And that's a hard road for me sometimes, because I have distance in some relationships that I wish I didn't, but it's because I spoke correction, and that they asked for.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
In one case, they didn't, but
In
it,
what case they didn't, I kept them anyway.
well, yeah, I did. And so, yeah. But I was also telling you earlier that I had a therapy moment where my therapist I had been with for quite some time was like, Crystal, you are on a hamster wheel and you just keep going around and around and around. And you keep telling me the same story, the same story, the same story. And until you decide to stop being on that hamster wheel of that pain, you literally, let me tell you how simple this is. You have to decide to step off of that wheel. And I was like, I'm telling you, Sonya, I remember everything about that moment. What he was wearing, what I was wearing, what the room smelled like, everything. I was so stunned that I have spent my life, my primary mission and passion has been for other people to get a wake up call like that too, because I do love people that much. And it was such a wake up call for me. And it was such a simple thing. I had to decide to change my life.
Yep.
I had to decide to be happy.
Right.
I had to decide to stop going around and around and around and around and around on what happened to me.
Yeah.
And here we are. Like,
It's so true, because I feel like it's very common to stay in that cycle because it's familiar, it's what we know, and it's almost like we want to get out of it, but we don't really know how. And sometimes we
yes,
need those nudges or those awareness. It's like, what is your intentions with telling that horrific story over
right,
and over? Like, what is your
right,
what's your hope out of that?
right.
You know? Yeah.
I do believe in the power of one story. Like I say it often, your story matters. Tell the story, tell it 10 times if you have to tell it 10 times, or however many times. But the rest of the story needs to start becoming part of the story.
Yeah. Right.
Like, then what?
Yes.
I want to know how the chapters unfold. I want to know. And that's called accountability too. And that's a lot of the wake up call that I talk a lot about is the accountability piece of, with my clients. If somebody comes to me and says, this is how I want my life to go, these are the relationships that I want to improve, this is then I tell them straight up, what you are coming to me for is accountability.
Yeah.
I am going to hold you accountable on that specific thing if that's what you want. So I'm really clear about that in the beginning. And
Well, there's so
it's
much
painful.
freedom in that, That's what we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier. There's so much freedom. I think that we instinctively like avoid ownership. It's almost like
Yes.
I'm doing something wrong and I don't want to be wrong, or whatever the case might be. But
Yes.
there is so much freedom of changing that story to, I accept responsibility for my part or this
Yes.
situation. I am in this
Yes.
situation because of the steps I took to get here, and I take full responsibility for this. And then you move on. You learn from it. You grow from
It's
it.
yes. I literally designed a sweatshirt for LifeSpark last week that says "Own your shit"
Love
underneath
it. Love it.
because
Yeah.
that's how serious I am about this. Until you are able to be honest with yourself, even if you're not able to be honest with me as your life coach, or honest with you as their life coach, or whoever they're working with, or their therapist, or their partner, until they get honest with themselves,
Yeah.
nothing's going to change.
True story. And figuring out who that is. That's the part I love about the journey with life coaching as well. is like, let's get on that journey of who am I? Who am I
Yes.
when I'm stressed? Who am I
Yes.
when I get a compliment? That's like, I've always tell my clients, once we get on our language together, it's so much easier to just, whatever, like move forward. And one of my languages is don't be a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Someone tells you you're amazing, then you're amazing. Someone tells you you did it wrong and you're never going to do it right. Now you're a pile. Like, don't be a tumbleweed. Like, own
Yeah.
yours, like be immune to criticism and
Mhm.
compliment.
Yes.
It's like,
Be
it's,
able to take correction, but also be able to take a compliment. I think that those are equally hard for the majority of people.
yeah,
Um, and it really is a lack of self-esteem in a lot of ways. And I say that's why I focus so much on confidence.
yes,
Core confidence, when you really are able to stand in your sense of self, then if somebody says you're a pile or
yeah,
somebody says you're amazing,
yep,
like, I used to live for the applause,
mm,
and accountability doesn't look like applause. It
right,
usually doesn't show up that way. Very rarely does accountability come with you're so amazing.
right, right.
Accountability comes with that was great, but it could be better if you did this. And I'm telling you that because I love you.
Right, right. Well, and also I'm not saying I don't like compliments. They're beautiful, but they don't change my world. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And in criticism, I'll pause with that. Does that resonate
Yeah.
with me? Is there a piece of that I need to look at because I want to grow and learn? And if
Yes.
they're giving me a criticism in a manner that feels rude, that part's on them, but I can read between the
Yes.
lines of what they're saying and still self-reflect and go, you know, that doesn't resonate with me, or that totally does. And he's not the first person to say it. Dang it, I got to look at that,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Totally.
So, yeah.
But we live in a world of likes and shares and, video counts
Right.
and
Oh my
whatever. So
gosh.
that does
Right.
not,
Let me
that
see the
is such a
5,000
thing.
likes. Yeah. They're better than
And
me.
so, right. But, and, I everybody knows I'm very active on social media and I put a lot of stuff out there and I share my life in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And so there's things that I'm like, I think, oh, people will like that or whatever, or they won't. That's when I get my ego involved in it, or when I overthink it. The
Mhm.
best thing for me is to just be me.
Absolutely.
It's like, whether I'm shoveling shit for my animals or I'm dressed up and I'm on camera and I'm ready to rock and roll and I am feeling the vibe. Like, I'm not trying to show off. None of it is. I'm just being me. Like, this is what I was born to do. I was born to be a spark in the world.
Yes, you were.
I mean, that's just who
Hmm.
I am.
Right?
I'm not. I finally have gotten to the point that I'm not doing it for applause. I'm literally doing it because I can't not anymore. Like,
Woo! Love it. Yes.
I'm just like, if you don't like it, keep scrolling. Like,
That's right.
I'm not going to apologize for being me
Absolutely.
anymore. And I'm not going to stand here and say, I was raised in a high control church where it's like, oh, if you make it about you, you need to keep a bushel over that girl because
Right.
that light is shining way too bright and it is about God. I
Mm.
am all for God and I am all for creator.
Yes.
But guess what made me? Guess how I got made this way? He doesn't need me, but he wants me to do what it is that I, or she, I was made to be the person that I am because, yeah, I've done the work. You've done the work. Like, you wake up in the morning and, like, it's a pressure cooker if somebody says, oh, you can't be you today. You need to put a bushel over that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's just not
Yep.
how I.
No, absolutely not. And when you are in alignment, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. It
Yes.
does not penetrate you. It's like, oh, that's their issue, not mine. And
Yes.
I don't need to
Yes.
prove that to them that it's their issue, not mine. It's like,
Yes.
peace out. Like, that's, you're
Yes.
not my,
Totally
not
agree.
in my circle.
Yeah. So I want to talk about alignment a little bit more and core values and how they relate
Okay.
because um, in my coaching business, I'm going to be focusing on core values for the rest of this year. And the reason for that is I want people to get really clear about their alignment and with their core values because that's what drives their behavior. That is like step
Totally
one.
agree. 100%.
Step number one, if you want to change your life, is you got to figure out what drives you
Yep.
And what's driving your behavior? Why
Yes.
are you reacting the way that you are? Why are you making the
Yes.
decisions that you're making? Why are you doing the things that you're doing and staying in the patterns that are not working for you? The
Okay.
very first step to that is core values. So I'm working on that heavily between now and the end of the year, because we all know that, there's this whole push for what are you doing for your New Year's resolution, and everybody wants to. Well, guess what? You're going to be done trying by the 15th of January if you don't know what your core values are and you haven't done the work leading up to January
Right.
of a defining moment of saying it's a new year and I'm going to pivot. This is going to be my pivot year.
Right.
If you haven't done the work on your alignment and
Yes.
you haven't done the work on your core values,
Yes.
by
Yes.
the 15th of January, you're going to be spinning
Yep.
and just going back to your comfort zone, because that's the easiest thing to do. And that's what we do because we're living habitually in that
Mm-hmm.
stuck place because we're attached to our story. What are your thoughts on that? What are you doing to help people through this process?
My style is I wouldn't say I'm aggressive, but I definitely would say that I stay on point. And so, in my opinion, with this, is it's not about how fast, it's about what direction and having
Yes.
intentions of that direction. So, in this situation, I might be like, okay, well, let's start with what do you feel like your core values are?
Mm.
And what drives you to that, and what story is that from, and who, because sometimes we think it's our core values, but really it's been something we've been told and it doesn't even resonate with our heart.
Yep.
When it resonates with your heart, it's like you said, I can't not do it.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's yours, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's where I would start with it. Like that, what are your core values and why? And what do you
Yeah.
feel when you do that? What do you feel when
Yep.
you're in line with that?
Yeah.
So I think core values are absolutely they're the guiding light. Like you say, they're
Yeah.
their driven source.
They
And
really are.
being
One of the
aware of what they are is kind of essential and important.
very, very, one of the tools that I use is, what do you always do when? And so there's this whole series of questions of, what do you always do when your husband criticizes you or when your boss criticizes you? What
Mhm.
is your initial reaction? Well, I withdraw and I get angry and I get defensive and I open my mouth and say things I don't mean. And okay, so let's just start there.
Okay.
And so then, or what do you always do when you feel like you're in that moment of alignment, like you were talking about earlier? Like, this feels good, this feels right, it doesn't feel heavy at all. I feel like I could make great decisions in this moment because I'm in my space. I just made a great loaf of sourdough and I have all my seeds ready to go out to all my friends, and my animals are all safe and healthy. And I live off the grid, so we have plenty of power, and like life is good, in that moment. What do I do? What do I always do in that moment? I've come to a place in my life that I bask in it. I literally sit down and have a cup of tea and I'm like, boom, boom. Because you
Yeah.
know what? This is an amazing moment.
Yeah.
I've learned to celebrate those moments, and I want to stay in them as long as I possibly can, because I know that like, life is uncertainty. We have all, like, but if you don't know what your core values are, it's kind of difficult to deal with uncertainty, and uncertainty is a fact of life.
Absolutely. And the thing is when you have these practices of being in alignment and knowing what it feels like to be in that calm state of mind, that when those uncertainties come, because like you're saying, they are going to happen, your responses are going to be a lot more gentle, a lot more at
Yes.
ease, a lot more of like, oh, there it is. We're
Yes.
not going to be in the fight, flight, or freeze moments all the time. And so
Absolutely.
then you're in this chronic state of stress, so that when a real thing does come, it's like over the top.
Yes.
So staying in that calm place is a really huge tool for the foundation of your life, really. It really
Mm.
is.
Well, it's like what you were saying, especially when the world feels like it's burning down all around us. Like, that's a very real imminent danger right now. Like, it just feels threatening. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what your religion is. We are living in a strange time in the world of fear. Fear is just
Yep.
like getting into the crooks and crannies, and coming at us from so many places, and so many people around us are fearful, even if we're able to stay in a place that's not. So, you know, yeah, I just feel
You know,
so grounded right now, and so motivated to stay in that and to spread light and love. But also, I say all the time, we're not talking about light and love. We're talking about blood, sweat, and tears
yeah,
with the light and the love, because,
absolutely. And
you know,
fear has its place. It is an
yes,
emotion that is helpful. And
highly motivating.
when you use that in the right way, but if you're in a chronic state of fear, then you're in chaos, then you're in disarray. It can create anxiety, depression, confusion.
Mm.
So it does have its place, but if you're finding yourself in a chronic place of it, that's when it's like, okay, I need to practice coming back to alignment. Come back
Mhm.
to it. Whatever that case might be for you, however that works for you. But just
Yes,
keep practicing coming back, because
yes.
that becomes your new norm.
Yep. I have a visual for myself of standing on a helicopter pad, just like that. Like, this is where you land. I do a lot of droning, so it reminds me on a regular basis, like, return to home. That's what my drone will say, return to home. And it literally will return and set down, land in exactly the spot that it took off from.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the visual that I have chosen for myself, as when I know I'm in alignment, like, okay, I can see the helicopter pad over there, but I'm not on it.
Ah, yeah, for
It's,
sure.
it's down
Right?
the hill a little bit right now,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I get that. It's like I'm not quite there, but I know how to get there. I know where it is, and I
Yes.
know what I need to
Yes.
do. That's also a
Yes.
bridge and a helpful tool. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knowing what those bridges are, but even like just knowing I have a helicopter pad that I can lift
Right.
off from,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
I can come home to,
Yes.
I can take off and land
Yes.
right there,
Yep.
and I'm safe and
Absolutely.
I'm good. And that is my place,
Yeah.
that I'm able to be kind,
Right.
which I think is very different than nice.
Right.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
in that place, I am solid. I feel
Right.
like I'm in alignment, when I'm
Right.
on my spot.
And what is the first thing we want to do when we feel full or we're happy? We want to give. It's just a natural
Yes,
thing. You
it
just want to
is.
give it out, and
Yes.
just this give and take kind of energy. And it's a beautiful natural flow that I feel like is also with source, so
Totally.
you're in alignment when you're in that too.
Yeah, it's like this year, I've had a dream to do LifeSpark for a decade. 10
Yes.
years ago, I had a vision, and I've been
Yes.
talking about it and talking about
I
it. All of you
know
are
it's
like,
time for the
it's
first
about damn
pivot.
time, girlfriend. I know, but even so, then I like tested the waters, like about a year ago right now, I started kind of testing the waters with it and putting it out there. And it was like, like you put your head out and you get your neck chopped off and you're like, oh, I'm retreating.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's what happened. It was like, it's hard to put yourself out there like that. Well, anyway, I just went through this whole process, and it's like when you do finally get to that point of, I'm in a full alignment, and I know, like, this is not about me at all. This is about the love that is coming from source through me, that I am just putting, like, I'm just the vessel, that's it. But I am overflowing with it now, and I have so much love and so much knowledge. Like, God has allowed so much in my life that has given me such compassion and such passion and
Mhm.
such a knowing.
Yes.
Like, I say a lot, like, I don't just think this, I know this,
Right.
I know this to be true.
Yeah.
And I just want to share that, like, exactly what you just said. Like, I'm at that point of, I can't not
I love it. I love it.
share what it just comes through me. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, okay, yes, you can, whatever it is, yes, you can, whatever it is.
That's
And
right.
I just, yeah,
I
I
love
want
it.
everyone to be where,
Yes.
everyone I
Absolutely.
love, I want them to know what it feels like not that you ever arrive. I have a lot of work to do. I'm not perfect. But I have learned to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
I have learned to be real. And those are the two things I think
Yeah.
that have shifted for me in this
Oh,
last year is, I'm not trying too hard anymore. I'm just being
yep.
like, this is who I am. And if you don't like it,
Keep on
you know,
scrolling.
scroll on, baby, scroll on.
Yes, and it's so true.
Yes.
I feel like, when we are in that groove, it just you can literally feel it. It's like this
Yep.
is what is meant to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. And it
Yes.
is to get vulnerable. It is to
Right.
be able to put that shield up if need be with other people and know that I have to do this.
It
So
is.
that's just the way
Well,
it's going to be.
yeah, we were talking earlier about the storms that are raging around both of us right now. Like, we both have very personal storms raging and things happening in life that are to do with people that we love dearly. And, it takes a very conscious choice to say, um, that is not my load to carry.
Yeah. Yes, and also another one of my languages is I that's not worth taking out of alignment. And that's what it's going to do. And I know that my health and my peace is
Mhm.
most important to me because
Yes.
then I can be my best version of myself as a mother, as a wife, as a sister. It's just
Yep.
I have to make sure that I'm keeping myself aligned and in a good way.
I totally agree because when you get those core values, the next step that comes from that is you start learning boundaries. And that is so powerful. Like, you
Yes.
know, um, and I think that that's where working with a life coach like you or me,
Mhm.
and lots of other people that we know and love, um, having that accountability, it's kind of like just having somebody that says, I put down a boundary, and somebody that says, and how did that work? Let's talk through it. um, so that you get positive reinforcement on what could you do differently next time to be more effective in putting down that boundary. What was your intention when you put down the boundary, and how did you execute that?
I
Like,
love it.
let's just, it's not just like, oh yeah, 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 you put down a boundary.
Right.
There's a lot of things that go into putting down an effective boundary that doesn't feel like you've just declared war.
Totally, absolutely. And here's the thing, when you are doing something new, it's focusing on that's what you're doing. It's a practice of it. It's like someone who doesn't know how to speak up for themselves. I always encourage them to do it, right or wrong. Because even
Mhm.
at the end of it, you're like, see, that's why I don't do it because this happens. It's like, yes, but you
Yeah.
practiced speaking up, and that's the most
Yes.
important part. And then the next step is doing just what you said. Go through it in
Yes.
yourself. How can I do better next time? What are the things I
Hmm.
did right and what are the things I want to change? And then you keep practicing and keep practicing, and pretty soon your weakness becomes your strength. Now
Yes.
I know how to speak my truth, and it's comfortable and it's
Yes.
flowy and it's easy, and then
Yep.
I'm representing that for others to witness and see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's how you change the trajectory of generational trauma. That's how you change the trajectory of your entire life for yourself. But, you and I both talk a lot about the ripple effect. And when you make even a tweak to how you are in relationship with another person, the ripple effect of that is so powerful. So when we are living intentionally and when we are literally in our alignment and we have boundaries and we are living with intention, which is part of that whole process,
Mm-hmm.
um, it teaches the other person how to be more of that for themselves. And that's the ripple effect of when we do better, when we know better, we do better. And when we do better, other people around us start doing better. So then the next step of that is, okay, who's in your circle? Who's in the room?
That's
Are
right.
you being challenged? Like, we'll take this as far as you want to go,
Yep.
but it's a process.
Well, I'll even
And,
go further than that. The people you have in your circle is going to represent what you are holding space for yourself.
oh,
You have to
absolutely.
take full responsibility of the people that are in your life. What you
Yes.
allow in your life is what you will have in your life.
Yes. And I tell people I have a little warning label that I always just say, here is the warning label on this lesson. Most people are benefiting from the fact that you don't have boundaries. And when you start to have them, your friend circle is going to shift. I'm just telling you, I'm warning you, I'm letting you know. Your relationship with your parents or your family, or, it depends on the situation. I do a lot of work with high control church people. And, when you literally say, you don't get to keep opening this wound for me anymore, yeah, it's a big shift.
It
And
is.
it will. But I think there's an ebb and a flow to relationship too. And if they really, like I always say, if they want to be in your life, they will. Mel Robbins says that all the time.
Yep.
Let them go. If they want to go, that's part of their sabotage of whatever that they're doing, because they don't know any better. Like, keep in mind, not everybody knows what you know.
Right.
So
Totally.
as you're learning, just have some grace with that other people are learning too. The ripple effect of you learning is other people are learning.
Absolutely.
They may not have an accountability person they're going back to like you do. So,
Yep.
that's just the
Yeah.
caution that I put out there for people who are working with a coach.
And it creates a sense of security, I feel like, in your relationships.
Oh,
If you're
yeah.
consistent with your boundaries, they don't have to guess who you are or what you're thinking, or, did she really mean yes, or did she really mean
Yes.
no? It's like, it just becomes this
Yes.
easy energy flow
Yeah.
that when you mean what you say what you mean. And I can't say enough. I really try to make it be assertive. I don't want it to be aggressive, and I definitely don't want it to be passive. So that's always been my goal. How can I walk away when we both have our dignity and we both feel heard?
Love that. Well, we are at time. So, is there any other wisdom that you want to leave us with today? Because I feel like I've been doing a lot of jibber jabbing.
No, it's been wonderful. I love our talks. They're so flowy. It's too bad we didn't record the first one. We could have been on all kinds of good stuff in there.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It is what it is, and I can't even remember what we said. So it's like, we put that in there? That was really good. And did we say it twice? Anyway,
We'll come back to it.
I don't have like this magical, you know, last words here, but I
Okay.
enjoyed
Well,
this very much.
we need to start doing this on a regular basis so
I
that
am
we
so
can.
into it.
Yeah, like literally, you have so much wisdom, and your style is just enough different from mine that I feel like what resonates coming out of my mouth might be very different than what resonates coming out of yours, because we just say things differently. I have a gal that I work with in Australia a lot. Her name is Rosie, and she's amazing. She's also a life coach, and she is so gentle and I'm like, she is the perfect person for so many people.
Yeah.
Because she's just so gentle with her tone and I'm like, what have you done today?
Right? And that's why it's so beautiful, because everybody needs something different.
Yes,
You know?
yes. And you might need different people at different times of your life too,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
always say,
Right.
well, I'm for the daring that want to be brave, because if you're not already daring, I'm going to definitely you're going to want to just withdraw, because it'll be like rapid fire coming from me.
100%. And that's how I feel too. It's like, in the beginning, maybe you need somebody more gentle. You got to go do that elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Starting with me, we're going to be doing it.
Yeah. Work. And they can do a lot of work. People can do a lot more on their own, I think, than they really realize. And I often just say, have you spent time alone with you lately? That's one of my questions when I do my consult with
Love
people.
it.
I say, when's the last time you spent time alone with you, and how did that go?
Yes.
Did you meet you?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Seriously, like getting to know
Yes.
ourselves on a deeper level,
Yes.
like sit in
Yes.
silence with yourself. I actually want to do a retreat that is formed around that, getting to
Yes.
know yourself again. 4 days, no
Yes.
electronics. Everything we're doing is about mindfulness,
Yes.
alone time, quiet time, journaling, grounding with your feet, getting in nature. I'm serious. I'm going to do it one day. I know I am. It's so important.
Yeah. Totally agree. Yep. All right, my dear. Well, that's it for today.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. It always is. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you're doing to spread light and raise the vibe and put the Band-Aids on the bloody wounds that people have. Um, we all have them,
Yeah, we
like
do.
we just got to get, I never thought that being a life coach, I would get really good at first aid, but there's a huge part of it that is just, the first thing we need to do is just repackage and rebandage this.
So
And maybe we need to let a little air in, and maybe we need a little ointment over here, and we need to like pour some alcohol over there, and that's gonna sting, you know?
yeah. Oh God, I love it.
That's what it's about.
Yes.
So, all right, my dear.
This
Well,
has been a
enjoy the rest of
pleasure,
your
as
day.
always. I really appreciate
Always.
you and all your love and light.
No, it's not me.
Right. Yes. Allowing that to come through. I love it.
Yes. All right. Love you lots. I'll
Love you.
talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Take care.